Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Badass Records podcast with me, your host, Blair Johnson. After a short little break, happy holidays, by the way, we're back with another episode, and this time it is Andrew Turner of Andrew Turner Auctions. Follow him on Instagram at Andrew_Turner_auctions. He's on YouTube. His website is atakc.com. He's on Facebook, Twitter, Threads, and TikTok. He hosts live auctions every Thursday, 6 p.m.-ish, 1801 Gwinnett in downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Check out his website and social channels for auction previews. Live auctions every Thursday in Kansas City. Andrew Turner Auctions. In theory, we're back in the saddle of dropping on Thursdays here on the podcast. Get your audio where you stream or download music and podcasts. The videos on YouTube. Everything lives on the site, which is badassrecordspodcast.com, and Instagram is the best social channel to follow if you're into that kind of thing. Happy New Year, one and all. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you enjoy the show. I think this will wind up being episode number 195.
Bump this up a little bit.
Yeah, do it. Of Badass Records podcast. Welcome, Andrew Turner. I appreciate you being here and sticking with the correspondence and us having to move dates. And
For sure.
Nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, me too.
At Andrew_Turner_auctions on Instagram. And you've got a YouTube channel. You've got Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Threads. And then atakc.com.
Yep, that's the website. That's the main point. Stands for Andrew Turner Auctions, Kansas City.
Right.
So.
I forgot to ask you, temperature-wise, I have this on.
I'm good.
You're good?
Yep.
Say if you get warm, and I'll shut it off.
I will.
So the website, atakc.com, says you do an auction every Thursday?
Yeah, every Thursday, rest of my life.
There's a little map at the bottom that shows 1801 Gwinnett.
Gwinnett is how.
What's that spot?
That is the auction warehouse. That is, we have, it's, 13,000 square feet. I think altogether there's some storage on the side. So, several thousand square feet, just a big old warehouse where we hold the auctions every Thursday. It's not like Sotheby's or Christie's. It's a big old cinder block warehouse in the East Bottoms of Kansas City.
Sure. What are Sotheby's and Christie's? I'm not familiar.
Oh, just like well-known auction houses that sell, like Marilyn Monroe's dress or.
Oh, funny.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha. So how long has this been a thing, and where did the idea come from?
Well, actually, New Year's Day will be 14 years.
No kidding?
No kidding.
Weekly? The whole time?
Yeah. They're pretty much, yeah. I mean, obviously, there's been times that we didn't do it, but yeah, pretty much like 700 and some auctions, I think, we've done.
Wow.
It's crazy to think of it like that.
So, where did the idea come from?
Well, I've always kind of, like collecting stuff or, things that were neat and, go to garage sales or antique malls, flea markets, things like that, and I I had a job with a company called Mannion's International Auction House that was in Kansas City, Kansas, and it was all online.
Mm.
It mainly dealt with military collectibles, a lot of stuff from World War One, World War Two. It actually predates eBay. I think that the guy who owned the place, was a real asshole, but he just didn't really realize at the time that he had invented eBay, you know. So,
Oops.
but at any rate, I'd worked there, and then I worked there under that owner for a while, and then I moved on. My degrees in like PR and journalism, and some marketing sprinkled in there too. So I went and worked for kind of a pharmaceutical type company for a while. It was like a smaller business though. And during that time, I started this little kind of a side hustle with my friends Darren and Kathy Welsh,
Okay.
and we would go after estate sales and we would clean stuff out of the house. Like after an estate sale, they're like, "You get all the stuff out of here, you can have it." And we were like, "Yeah!" And we went in there and pulled all the stuff out. They actually started doing it first, and then kind of, brought me in. So I had done that for a couple different guys.
And finding out about estate sales, is this like an ad in the paper thing? Is it an internet thing?
I guess, yeah, internet thing. And this was, a long time ago now. I also had a booth at a place, Waldo Antique Mall.
Okay.
It was across from where Lou's is. Now there's a big apartment building monstrosity sitting there, but it was the Waldo Antique Mall for years and years, decades probably. And and so we'd go in these houses, or after the estate sale, people would come into the estate sale. They'd, if you don't know how it works, they come in and everything's priced. They come in here, they put little price tags on everything in here, and then people come in for 3 days and they get rid of, hopefully 3/4 of it or half of it, and then, there's everything left. And so they work with somebody to, get it out of there. And so I'd hump all that stuff down there to Waldo Antique Mall, and I was making maybe a couple $1,000s a month or something like that extra doing that. And
I can picture Waldo Antique Mall, but I can't picture where. Is it is the other side of Warnell?
It's on 75th. Like Lou's would be looking right at the front door. Like if you looked out, if you're standing on the front door area of Lou's, it'd be right across 75th Street.
Oh, okay.
It was a weird white kind of misshapen building.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
That was actually, I'm already digressing, and we've only been talking for like 2 minutes here, but I guess back in the 60s and 70s, it was a country music bar, like a big country music bar.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what it was called or anything like that, but at any rate, then, so I was kind of doing that and working for the pharmaceutical company. It was more like they made like enzymes and things like that. So Mannion's Auction had a new owner, and they were like, "Man, we want you to come back and work in more of a PR and marketing capacity." Because I was a catalog writer before. These items would come across our table there. It'd be like, World War II U.S. GI helmet, approximately 1941, front seam, fixed bales, and you go in and just kind of describe every little thing about it. And then there'd be pictures of it, and people would bid on it online with Mannion's. So that's what I did there first. Then I came back and worked in more of a PR and marketing capacity, and I'd go do their trade shows and things like that. Basically, you'd go and set up at different collector shows across the country and try to get people to send their stuff in and sell it through the auction. The the auction, that place kind of had a bad name, and I was like, come on, we can do this. You know, we can rebrand this thing. We can get up and going again. And you know, that really didn't end up working out. They ended up having some money trouble, I think. I don't know exactly, but one day the owner's like, hey, we can't pay you guys. Just pay period. And during that time, I had gone to auctioneer school.
Oh, wow.
Which is, everyone's always real interested. Like, well, where's that? What was that? Well, it was a weekend at a Howard Johnson's by the airport.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Everybody paid $1,000. I looked around the room. There's about 200 people there. I was like, I can do the math on this, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, I knew how to do the auctioneer chant, and we had a couple live auctions out at the Mannion's warehouse area in Kansas City, Kansas. And so he said, we can't pay you. And I said, hey, man, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to go ahead and take off, So you'll save whatever a month. And I, told my wife at the time, and I was like, all right, Turner, you got a 2-year-old baby girl here. You need to figure something out. So I rented the Masonic Lodge at like 90 whatever in Holmes, and pulled all that shit out of my booth, drug it down there, had some other people gave me some stuff to sell. And it was New Year's Day 2011, and we had an auction there and made like $10,000 or something like that. It's like, oh hell yes. It's on.
Net?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't net.
But ballpark.
But yeah, it was around there because I was selling a lot of my own stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course.
So
better than hey, we can't pay you for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was messed up. But anyway, so people, they said, hey, do that again. I've got a bunch of stuff. I need you to help me get rid of this stuff. And so I rented the thing again, and we did it again, and had good luck, Seems like I was also doing something else at the time too, probably working at a restaurant. But maybe it's Lulu's, maybe not. But so eventually, I talked to the people at the Masonic Lodge and was, asked them, hey, can I do this more than once a month, and they said, they had to meet on it, in their tribunal or whatever, and they decided, it'd be too much wear and tear on the building.
Oh boy.
And I get it, but so I ended up renting a space at 31st and Mercer above the caves there.
Okay.
And it was just a big empty warehouse, and we just started doing them there. It's really funny to sit and think about it,
Yeah, I bet.
It wasn't one of those things where, like, I was like, can I do this? Do you think I was like, this is what I'm doing, and there was no doubt, and it's just how it happened.
Cool.
And so, ever since then, and that was probably, I don't know, May of 2011, maybe a little before, pretty much every Thursday since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in your space downtown?
I'm going to say 13 years, 12.5 years, something like that.
Is it yours?
It is not.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So there's a little bit of overhead before you get to put some profit in your pocket.
Oh, my God, yeah. I mean, and utilities.
I'm sure.
And insurance. So, yeah, I always, people go, how do you get into this? I'm like, well, it started out as a hobby, something, fun to do to make a little money. And now I'm paying payroll taxes and workers' comp insurance. And, and it's one thing after another, man. The insurance companies, my God.
Oh, I can only
My
imagine.
God. My God.
So, I'm completely naive to this
Well, okay.
process and business. And how do you get things?
Well, we're at the point now where people mainly bring us stuff to sell. People need to call ahead of time and say, "Hey, I've got, my dad passed away. I need help getting rid of his stuff. And it used to be that we would go and we would kind of almost do like we did when we were cleaning out after estate sales. We'd just take everything and we'd sell it down at the auction. But things have just changed so much that it mainly comes into us now. So
They
a lot of times,
physically bring the stuff to you.
right. People physically bring it down there to us, which is
Sounds better than going to get it.
yeah. I mean, the commission is a little higher if we go get it, but not that much higher,
Right.
And but it used to be okay. So when we started it, 14 years ago, or or soon after it got rolling, like people would buy furniture. Furniture was fine. You could go and we'd lug all this heavy shit out and put it in a truck or the van and bring it down and set it up. But like now, we can't hardly give furniture away, unless
What?
there's something super special about it.
Really?
Yeah, it's just
Like people only want to buy new or get from folks they know, or
I think everybody already has furniture,
Sure.
and I mean, and we sell what we do sell. Hopefully, it'll be somebody who wants it for their home because they're going to pay more. But we sell to people who resell furniture and things like that. But mid-century furniture is still hot. You know what I'm talking about? Mid-century furniture.
No.
It's like, so that'd be stuff from like the 50s, 60s, even into the 70s, like kind of lower, straight, clean lines.
Huh.
Like Danish style. I mean, kind of like IKEA furniture looks, but
Yeah.
actual of the time period, and made by a designer, inspired by a designer. Like I always say, it's the stuff that people were started throwing away in the 80s and 90s, and now it's freaking huge.
Weird.
Yeah. You'd know it if you saw it.
Uh-huh.
I can't even
Right.
think of a way to
It's
describe
interesting
it.
that you say that about people having furniture. I mean, I'm weird about money in that, like, I mean, my folks split in the early 80s. My mom remarried in 82 and we moved to Atlanta, and we lived someplace while they were building a new home. And then when we moved into that new home, they furnished the place. And there was a living room and a dining room that we were not allowed in. It was just
Right. Oh, yeah.
and this
Yeah,
couch is part of that.
Oh, wow.
And it's like it's still here because it's so same with like shoes, if I feel the pain of $150 spend on a pair of shoes, but then turn around and get 10 years out of them, I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
$15 a year, that was a good spend.
Yeah.
So when I see people that like have perfectly nice furniture in room X of their home or rooms X and Y, and they replace them with new, I'm like, what? That's really wild to me. But I mean, they obviously probably have some more cash laying around than I do.
Right.
But
yeah, and that's not really my thing either. Like I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change it up. Like, what the fuck? No.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
I'm good.
yeah,
man,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I get it sometimes,
Sure.
but not like, like every year or two, which some people do. But, I mean, and then it used to be, so, there's all of these vintage stores, antique stores and stuff in the West Bottoms. It's kind of a big deal. First Fridays, West Bottoms. There's a whole lot of them everywhere. And it used to be when that first started, a lot of people were buying furniture. They'd get like a buffet, like a dining room piece, and they take it and they like paint it turquoise or orange or something like that. And that was big for a while. And we were selling the shit out of furniture then. But now, I think everybody's, got NFM on their credit report, Nebraska Furniture Mart
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
IKEA stuff. I mean, it's, and a lot of the antique furniture wasn't really made for modern man. It's just a different time what people
Yeah.
are putting in their houses. Like it's a neat, real neat piece of furniture, handmade, for the most part, real wood, but hard to sell.
So sometimes folks are bringing you stuff. They got to call ahead of time. Um, and at one point you would go in after estate sales and just clear the place out. But you're more selective now?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I read the little bit about if the idea of
Yeah.
thrift store even crosses your mind, take it there.
Yeah.
Tell me about crafting that particular phrase, because
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. Well, people, I like they'll be loading up stuff to bring down to us or whatever. And like, should take it to the thrift store, or bring it to the auction. That what that sentence is. Just take it. Just throw it away. Take it somewhere else. If that, and I'm sure we miss out on some stuff, which I can hit on later because some people don't know what people are buying at venues like that. Currently. But people they'll bring stuff down, and they'll say stuff like, "Well, I don't care if it sells for $1." And I go, "Well, you should, because you picked it up, you wrapped it up, you put it in a box, you put it in your car, you brought it down here, you brought it, I mean, $1, we're going to get 40% of that. You're going to get 60% of that. What do you want 60 cents of your time, I mean, time's the only commodity that any of us really has. And I think a lot of people, they're just so wrapped up in their stuff and the word worth. I know it's getting away from the question that you asked me, but I mean, kind of, but you could have just thrown that in the trash, and not wasted either one of our times. Like people bring down these, I've got all these little statues, 4 of them are broke, and we'll see how these do, and I'll bring you some more. I'll tell you right now how that's going to do, So yeah, if people emailing photos in has really helped a lot with that,
Of the stuff that you're thinking of bringing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you send me some just email me some photos, and then I try to shoot straight with everybody that calls. If it's something that I don't think we're gonna make money on and they're gonna be happy, I'm gonna tell them right away. I'm not just gonna have somebody bring something down and we sell it and they're unhappy. I always say, I'm rather you be disappointed now than later. That I tell you that nobody's going to want your grandpa's chair or couch. People go, well, I've got this couch. I paid $2,000 for it. That was 5-6 years ago. I'd at least be able to get $600-700. Like, dude, a lot of shit goes down on couches, man. There's some eating and some scratching and some picking, and many other things. It's just, but yeah, that phrase just kind of helped weed out people bringing down a bunch of crap, and then, then we've got to pay somebody to pick it up, move it around, and then we end up throwing it away anyway. Like, let's just skip that whole step. But like I was saying, we might miss some things because of that particular sentence. Like, what's something that...
The coffee mug stands out from the sentence, but I don't remember what else was in there.
Yeah, your coffee cups, toaster ovens, yeah, all that stuff. That's like my elevator speech that I added some more things into it. Like, we're not interested in coffee cups, toaster ovens, shoes. But then again, like, there could be a pair of like Jordans from the 80s,
right?
Which we've gotten in just beat to hell, and sell them $600-700,
What? Beat to hell?
Oh yeah, beat to hell
for $600-700?
Yeah.
Well, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. it hadn't been too long ago. Within the last year, we sold a couple of pairs.
Huh.
Yeah, we just pulled them out of this house, this hoarder house. This guy had freaking everything. So much stuff in there. Crazy stuff. But, you know, like people are taking their, like don't take your old, like your grandpa's old denim work jacket to the thrift store. Please don't. Like that can be thousands of dollars.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah. Denim is hot.
Wow.
White hot. Yeah. Like 50s denim, 60s even, and especially 40s and before. My God. Yeah. If you, it's kind of funny because, you know, all my socials, you know, it's feeding me all this. So I always think, oh, everybody knows this is everybody's world. You know what I mean? But you follow some of these people on there that, I mean, that's what they do. That's their life. They hunt down like badass denim jackets and, you know, jeans and just vintage clothes, vintage t-shirts. Like, I mean, you've probably thrown away a concert t-shirt that is $500-$600.
Wow. That's crazy. So if somebody calls and says, we have a U-Haul full of leftovers from an estate sale, can we bring it to you? Are you saying yes? Or is that, send me some pictures first? And if you say yes, once they arrive, are you like taking everything? Or are you just selecting things and then sending them away with the leftovers?
You know, when anymore people say it's from, you know, we had an estate sale, we've got the rest of this stuff, we want to bring it down here. And I'm like, well, you know, estate sale leftovers isn't what you want to hear, really, you know. And I'm like, well, you might have some things in there, but chances are, you know, there's no meat left on the bone. You know, it's all been taken care of, you know. But yeah, sometimes people just show up with a truck, you know,
Without calling?
yeah, without calling, and that's like, that's so bad for morale, because we've been moving all the stuff around and trying to set up. You know, we do the auction Thursday night. Then Friday, we start setting up. You know, we clean up a little bit, not a lot, a little bit, and we start setting up for Friday. Try not to work Saturday and Sunday. We finish setting up Monday, and then into Tuesday around noon to 1 o'clock, we start taking our preview photos. And every week on our website, Tuesday evening, we put up, anymore, it's like over 1,000 photos. Like,
What?
yeah, we have an auction tomorrow night. If you go to the website now, I think there's like 1,300 photos of everything that we have in the auction. And then I do a preview video. I walk around with the camera, you know, and basically just ramble on, you know, and show people stuff. And
how does one manage 1,300 photos in a week's, like, where is that being stored to get to the website?
just on a SD card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's done in 3 hours. I mean, it's, you know, 2 people, 2 halfway decent cameras. You know, you can, you know, move around.
And then you just plug it into the computer and transfer the file, and then you can upload from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just upload straight to a couple different websites. And I don't like host the photos on our website. It just goes to, it's a website called estatesales.net. Kind of to your point earlier when you were asking about how people find out about estate sales.
Yeah. Okay.
That's one huge place. So then I just link it there. You know? And then they store them too for a long time. It's awesome deal.
You have an auction Thursday, and then you said you start setting up for Friday. What happens Friday? Are you already preparing for next week's?
Yeah, we turn and burn.
Day one.
Yep.
There's no rest for the weary.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we're not putting in 8-hour days. You know what I mean? We're all kind of, I think, at the point in our lives where we don't really feel like working 8 hours in a day. You know? Sometimes you have to. I do a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know, especially like last night was probably 12-hour day. But, you know, a lot of that is also me sitting at home, you know, editing the photos, editing the video, taking a little break, hanging out with the kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But, so stuff starts coming in the door. Sometimes we send out a truck to pick stuff up, but not that much. It has to be pretty special for us to
You have your own vehicles to do that, or you have to rent them?
We just get a U-Haul. I don't own a box truck. I don't need another liability in my life, you know.
So you're giving U-Haul some business.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, for a long time. Yeah. But, you know, and then so, you know, what it is, we agree on the commission, and then I just deduct the cost of the truck from their sales. You know what I mean?
So walk me through your week. You have an auction Thursday, and then Friday you start setting up for the next one. And then you are messing with stuff Saturday, Sunday?
Generally not. Try not to, but, you know, sometimes you have to. And then on Monday we're still setting stuff up, and then Tuesday we set stuff up, you know, from like 9 until noon, 1, and then, you know, everything's kind of put to bed. You know, we're getting the place cleaned up a little bit, and then we start taking photos of everything. Then Tuesday night's about, hopefully by 7, but it doesn't always work out like that. That, you know, they're online, people can see them, and then, you know, video takes a little longer to, you know, edit and all that.
Yeah.
But it's nothing fancy. Like, I would get YouTube comments, you know, like, I can't remember exactly, but there's zero production to this. Like, yeah, dude, it's like,
It's not content.
This isn't Mr. Beast here. Okay? It's like, you know, because you know, when we started 2011, you know, it was a place where you could grab some code and put it in your website and have a video on there. You know, it's just a vehicle so people can see what we have. And there, you know, a lot of times in the videos I'll say, as a reminder, this video is not intended for entertainment purposes. It is purely informational, you know, because people, it's just funny. But
well, you've got your engine close to 1,000 subscribers.
I'm gaining
YouTube.
on it.
What what did that growth look like? Have you seen spurts? Has it been real slow and steady?
Well, you know, like when we started it, you know, it was just to serve a purpose. But that, you know, YouTube wasn't like the major television network, you know, when we started,
right?
You know, so I mean, I didn't even understand what followers were then, you know, and it probably wasn't until, I don't know, several years ago that, you know, that started to become important, you know, and recently it's growing a lot more.
Oh, cool.
Know? Yeah.
Good.
Because I remember, you know, just a few years ago, I was like, come on, let's get to 500, you know, and we were at 500. Now we're at like, I don't know, 850 or something. I'm not really sure, but it seems so dumb to talk about when people have like
millions.
You know, I mean, but I never really worried about that.
Sure.
Except for, you know, to be able to monetize it would be all right. You know? But I don't even know how much that would be. So you have to have 1,000 subscribers and then a certain amount of watch hours, which we're lacking a little bit, you know, in that. But
all the YouTube content more or less is walking around, showing the stuff. I mean, some of the videos are 40, 50 minutes.
Right.
Is there more than just the walking around and the showing in those videos?
There have been, you know, not in those videos. It's just pretty much me walking around and talking about stuff. And then, you know, it's a lot of times it's just like stream of consciousness. Like people will say, oh yeah, you said this. I'm like, what? I did? What? You know, I'm just like rambling on.
Yeah.
But you know, I obviously need to do more, you know, like item of the week, and, you know, but it all just comes down to time and, you know, and I'm not chasing that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
well, it serves the purpose of making your company commissions at the, you know, it's not like you don't have that and you're only wanting to hit those benchmarks so that you can start monetizing. It's a vehicle.
Yeah. It would be nice. Would I take it? Yes. Am I like obsessed about it? no.
Right.
You know,
Right.
there have been times, I've tried to grow it, but it just kind of is what it is.
I hear you.
Isn't what it ain't.
The audio piece for this, there's a distribution platform, and here are the ways that you can monetize. And, for whatever 3.5 years, however long I've been using that, some of them have stayed the same. Like there's a buy me a cup of coffee, and there's a sponsor, and it's like none of them. It's like I just want the ads, right? And it was great. It was grayed out forever. And then one day I got on and it was not grayed out anymore.
You're like, oh.
Well, I didn't have like any kind of surge.
Right.
In subscribers or views or anything. So I think that they just changed something. And so I was like, well, cool. And then you can sort of choose a couple here, a couple there, and one in the middle or whatever. And you hit go, and then it immediately fills the whole backlog. So every single time an ad gets played, couple pennies, literally. And I was like, okay, well, that's it's better than what it was before, which was nothing.
Right.
And it updates the stats every 3 days, and then once a month it pushes whatever little bit you get to your PayPal, and it's like, I mean, cool.
Right.
I'm not gonna give it. I don't have any more time or energy to give it than it already has. So if it keeps at that, fine. If it goes like this, also fine.
Right. And if it starts going like that, maybe I'll find a little more time.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I did. I signed up for the Amazon. I don't know, not influencer program, but something where I put an ad on the website when I was doing my videos. I'd talk about Audible, and then you can free download, blah blah blah. I think I ended up making like $1.19 or something like that, and I just felt so dirty, and I just stopped doing it, because I don't know, it was just kind of corny, Well, look at Turner trying to huck a freaking nickel out of Amazon,
Whatever. Folks are gonna judge whether you try to get them to not,
true.
Regardless. So, are you born and raised in the area?
More or less. I was born here.
Okay.
Then fourth grade, however old you are in fourth grade.
9, 10.
Yeah, right. My family moved to Jefferson City.
Okay.
My dad worked for the state and, got a transfer promotion. So,
sure.
So I was there from fourth grade through 12th grade, then graduated, and I graduated in 88 and moved back here in 89, I think, 89, 90. So,
okay.
I mean, I've been here long enough.
Yeah.
Long enough to be sick of looking at it. I know that much.
Is that where you were over the holidays? You still have
yeah.
people in that area then?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You have siblings?
I do. I have a younger brother and then a sister.
Okay. Any idea how mom and dad initially connected?
Yeah. I think they both... My mom was a nurse, and my dad was a social worker at some level at Western Missouri Mental Health Center,
okay,
which is gone now. But it was like a mental hospital,
yeah.
And downtown 22nd Holmes, I think, something like that.
Okay, right where the no, I'm thinking Truce, where the health department is.
Yeah, right. Yeah, down a, I think it was 22nd. Maybe it's a little closer to Crown Center, but anyway, they just started hanging out, as the kids say, I guess,
exactly.
And
did they put on music to listen to in the home when you guys were young?
Yeah. Not a ton of it. My mom was just it was always classical.
Okay.
Uh
Nice.
huh. And then my dad. What I really remember is it was like outlaws like Willie and Waylon.
Yeah.
And remember we took a trip one time. We drove from Jefferson City to Bay Area,
Oh
California,
my.
and like a 1972 Cutlass. Didn't have any air conditioning, but we remember listening to that Outlaws album with Waylon and Willie and Jesse Coulter, I think, on the front of
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Listened to that probably 400 times
Yeah.
over and over.
Yeah.
But then my dad had a bunch of records.
Okay.
You know how like you go through your parents' records, and there's ones that you end up confiscating. You know what I mean? Like like Sergeant Pepper, and he had Some Girls. But like Some Girls wasn't even like he never really listened to that. I think he was a moody.
Stones. Some
Yeah,
girls.
yeah.
Yeah.
He had a lot of moody blues records. I
Okay.
think he was a moody blues guy.
Interesting.
Yeah. But they aren't really oriented around music at all anymore. But I remember like we had to take piano lessons. My mom made us take piano lessons, and so we had a piano, and it was fun because like mom knew how to play the piano, and like none of us really knew that until we got to piano. It was really fun.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
How long did they make you take them?
Oh, probably 5 years
Okay.
ish or something like that.
Okay.
And but then I went on to be in like high school band
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah. So stuff that they're into, stuff that's in your home, stuff that you listen to in the car, wherever the case may be, is here, and then your fully developed taste and catalog and like the list you shared with me is over here. Is there an album that wasn't something that they were into and not something that is on your list that you first fell in love with or bought with your own money or borrowed from a friend or?
Oh gosh, it's just such different time periods of like being a kid in the 70s, and when like it was like John Denver,
Sure.
and all that was like it didn't really have anything, except in like I think it was about 5th grade is when I really started 4th or 5th grade. When actually about the time I moved to Jefferson City is when I started to figure it out. It was about the time that that Blondie song, kind of the rap.
Heart of Glass?
No, I mean that too. But God, anymore, I don't know if it happens to you, but like if I have to remember something right on the spot, I cannot freaking find it. And it's a freaking Blondie song that everybody knows. You don't have to shoot up, beat up cars, go out at night. Dun, 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 Cadillacs and Lincolns too. You didn't.
Fair. Okay. Gotcha.
This is so dumb I can't remember it, but just remember that came out and that was kind of cool. I had my first friend that I made there, Berkeley Whitler. He got me into a lot of cool stuff. Like he really like Parliament Funkadelic, and I had no idea what that was even a freaking thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he tell all how that all with like Bootsy and all, all the different little subgroups and everything like that.
Yep.
And that's kind of when I started to realize that there was something else except for the Beatles and John Denver and
Right.
I mean much respected Beatles, well John Denver too, but I mean but that's kind of when I just started to realize that there was other things out there.
Cool.
Yeah, it was fun. Like a lot of songs came out, whatever year that was, 5th grade.
So beyond your half cross country trip to see the Outlaws and the Cutlass. Other live music memories or a first quote unquote concert?
Rapture. That's the longest song.
Yeah.
Okay, had to do it, man.
You had rap.
Yeah, I couldn't go any longer.
Yeah.
Let's see. So part of my family was from Dodge City, my mom's side of the family, and my uncles owned bars there.
Oh, cool.
For a brief period, and me and my friend Berkeley, and we always had this idea we're going to start a band. We're going to start a band someday, and just kids and no means, especially back then. Kids didn't have money then at all. And so I went over, I think it's probably over Thanksgiving. We went to one of my uncle's restaurant or bars there, and there was a band playing, a live band, and I was like, whoa, I'm at my first concert. They were just a cover band playing the Eagles or something like that.
Sure.
But I kind of forget your question.
Oh, just if there were any concert memories that stood out. I mean, that one's noteworthy.
that I remember. And then like my first concert wasn't until God, I don't even know how old I was. Maybe 15, 16. Me and a friend of mine drove from there to Kansas City and saw Iron Maiden at Kemper. I think it was Seventh Son tour, I think.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, and then I was just listening earlier today. I was just listening to Jeremiah's interview with you, and he mentioned that in there, so I thought that was funny. But yeah, that was like my first concert, and then
cool. So you and your siblings take piano lessons. When we were first messaging, you said you played in a bunch of punk bands over the years here locally. What's the next piece of your musicianship arc after piano lessons? You and your friend Berkeley did end up forming a band, or?
Well, we stayed friends like all through high school and everything, and he and I and a couple other guys like moved out, got our own place. They're in Jefferson City, this rat hole apartment like down the street from the prison. It was, but we all had our instruments there, and we'd play a little bit, but nothing really came of that. But another friend of mine and I kind of started a little band. He really did it all. He had some like sampler and some sort of synthesizer, and it was called the Growth Flags, and we made a little tape and everything. And
cool.
Yeah, the songs are actually pretty good.
So from piano, or do you go to guitar?
Well, I guess I went to high school band after piano.
Okay. Okay. So what do you play in high school band?
I started out playing the trumpet.
Okay.
And then, I wasn't really ever very good. Sometimes I'd make it to second chair, maybe first chair for a week, and then, back down to like eighth chair or whatever, just depending on how much I practiced.
Of course.
Practice what it was on. But then, like, they needed somebody who could, because then it was marching band after that, so they needed somebody who could, like, at least fake playing the baritone horn, So they moved me on to that, I never even really knew what I was doing, a little bit here and there, and then they needed somebody to do that with sousaphone too, so then I moved on to that.
Big
too.
horns.
Yeah.
Okay.
After that. And, I don't think I was ever really any good. I just kind of could fake it,
Sure. So when you start messing around with buddies and making bands, what's your instrument?
It was mainly bass at that point.
Okay.
But then, that all kind of fizzled out. When I moved here to Kansas City in 89, 90, moved down here with my girlfriend Tanya at the time, and we got a place on the plaza, and it's good living, being little 19, 20-year-old little plaza rats running around. We didn't know anything about living in a big city, but it was fun, and eventually, didn't work out with us, and when we split up and moved. She had a guitar and I took it. She didn't ever use it. She didn't care,
Right,
you know. And
right.
then that's when I kind of piddled around on it, and then eventually I just kind of somebody showed me how to make some chords and some different things. I was playing bar chords, and then they taught me some other stuff, and just kind of went from there, and just buying little pieces of gear here and there.
Sure. Never looked back from there to the bass. You stuck with the 6-string.
Well, no, I played bass too.
Okay.
Along the way,
Okay.
yeah, back and forth, and because if you know how to play guitar, you know how to play bass because it's for the same strings.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, I started. Let's see. I think my first real band was a band called Otis 13, and this must have been in like 92 or 3
Okay.
or 4. It was me and a guy, Jack Boyd. Jack Boyd is prolific around Kansas City as a bass player, and Bob White was the drummer. They had a band before called Loud Sounding Dream.
Huh.
LSD is what was on
There you
all
go.
the flyers.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, they had broken up, and I talked to Bob at the Hurricane or something, and I just went down there and hung out, and it worked, and found out that we liked some of the same music, some of the same bands, and those guys were already, seasoned. They played in this band that played all over the place. And,
Sure.
And was kind of I think maybe I saw them one time. They're just kind of a spectacle. They do things like bring TVs on stage and bring big magnets up to the TVs and make crazy patterns with it. And
Oh, wild.
yeah.
Nice. Where's the name Otis 13 come from?
Well, we called it Otis because we were sitting around watching Andy Griffith, and probably stoned, and we're like, oh, yeah, Otis. And so that's what we called it. And then there's we played at the Hurricane one night, and there was another band playing that night as well called Otis. And so we were like, there's some tough talk there at the club, who's going to change their name?
Right.
And we were like, we'll be Otis 13.
There
and
you
then
go.
that's
how
it was. So.
What are some other outfits that you've been in?
Well, so there was a band here called Share, and then it went on to become Share UK. I don't know if you've ever heard. Mike McCoy is just a mad musical genius. And
that name sounds familiar.
Yeah. He McCoy's.
No, Mike McCoy. Yeah. I know that from somewhere.
Yeah. He's been around for a while. He's still playing. He's in Austin now.
Okay.
But he had this band. He started out called it Share because he wanted to get sued by Share for publicity reasons, And then this was about the time that there was a record label in Minneapolis called Red Decibel, and it was a Columbia subsidiary, I guess.
Okay.
And they had signed Season to Risk, and they had this band House of Large Sizes from Sioux Falls or Sioux City. I always forget, but where Gabe's is. And then they also signed Mike with Share UK, and then Share UK is one of those bands that has had 50 different members, and it was a really, really fun time, because there was, something happened, didn't work out with his drummer and bass player, and so Mike asked me to play bass, and I was like, yeah, hell yeah. And he goes, a drummer, and my friend Christian McMahon was right there, and he was the drummer, and I was like, yeah, Chris. And he goes, all right, you guys are in. And so we just learned his songs, and it was fun because there was a label involved, and we got to play South by Southwest.
Oh, cool.
Got to travel all around and just had a freaking blast.
Nice.
It was wild.
I bet.
Yeah. But then, so back during Otis 13 days, kind of touching on Red Decibel, they put out this compilation CD called Kansas City Misery, and it had at least 20 bands from Kansas City.
Cool.
Yeah, and of course Steve, you know, Tulipano, you know, he was kind of the architect, I guess, you know what I mean?
Okay.
You know
Yeah.
how, I mean, that's just him, you know what I mean? He makes shit happen.
Yeah.
And Otis 13, we got the first freaking song on that, and we were like, oh, it's on. It's on. You know, where do we go? We're only up
Yeah.
for, you know, so stupid. but but you can still find that CD some places
Cool.
in the bargain bin, you know.
Right.
I guess all CDs are in the bargain bin now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and then so you know, eventually I got kicked out of Share, and so I was just playing with Otis 13. And I had some other little, like there was a band called Good Puss here, which actually had Lisa McKenzie, who was a drummer for Cher at one point. She started a band, and they asked me to be in it, and I was like, yeah, sure. And so their practice space was up these flight of stairs that had to have been 40 fucking stairs, and I had to carry a head and then a 412 cabinet up there every time, and I couldn't just leave it because I needed it for my other bands, you know. And I'm not carrying that up there every time we practice. So I kind of turned them on to somebody else who went on. Great guy, Chris Teasley. I think I turned him on to that, or maybe he fell into it organically. But and then Jack, the bass player for Otis 13, started playing with them, and it was just a really interesting band. But I gotta say I regret it because they got to play CBGB. So
Oh, damn.
yeah,
Wow.
damn it.
Lisa McKenzie, is she still around? Is she?
Oh yeah.
I feel like I've seen her stuff, and we've maybe even messaged about doing this.
She'd be great on this. Yeah, she's like professional drummer. I think is her job.
Yeah,
you know?
cool.
And just really sweet person, really interesting.
Nice.
Too. But so then like Otis 13 wasn't really working out, and so I had some friends that I knew from Jefferson City. They all lived in Columbia, and they had a band called 2.2 Children, I think is what they were called. And you know, they're pretty big around those parts, I guess. And I talked these guys into moving down here and starting a band with me, and they did, and we started a band called Thirsty.
Okay.
Is what we ended up calling it. And you know, we were just like, basically, you know, three of us had known each other most of our lives, you know. Seemed like the perfect scenario, you know. And we had a couple different drummers over the years, but you know, eventually that all didn't work out either.
Right.
And there was at that point in time when we started getting that band together, I was like, this is it. This is what I'll do. This is what I'm going to do the rest of my life. Is I'm going to be a fucking
rock star.
You know, some different level. I wouldn't want to say.
Right.
But yeah,
right.
you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I was like, this is it. This is my ticket, you know. And womp, womp, womp,
Sure.
womp, you know.
Was Thirsty your last outfit?
I went on after that to play. So it was for a long time. And then my friend John Holston was playing in a band called Mag Fucking Nificent. It was a Cure cover band.
Oh, wow.
And Byron Human, who is another kind of Kansas City prolific musician from that time, you know, it was his band. He wrote all the songs, and John got me in there playing bass, you know. I think Byron was like, all right, man, whatever, you know. And I just played Byron's bass parts as he taught them to me, you know. It was called the Dark Circles.
Okay.
And it was a good fucking band.
Nice.
It really was. But it was, you know, they were especially Byron, you know. And then later on towards the end, Mike Alexander came and was playing guitar too. I mean, those guys are freaking serious, you know. And I was like, we practiced across the street from the Golden Ox, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go over to the Ox for a little bit. You know, this is the old Golden Ox when it was kind of, well, it was at the end of its previous days of glory,
Right,
which I
right.
freaking loved it there because it was just so cool, the way it was.
By Kemper?
Yeah. You probably know.
Yeah.
Just that whole bar area.
Yep.
Which I guess was designed by some like famous Hollywood scene designer way back when. It was just so cool, It's like the last of the dive bars,
Yeah.
Where you could also get a $60 steak that was cooked like shit. But so that those guys were. I was not going to be playing with them long.
Sure.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm like I just kind of fake it.
Yeah.
I've never really been very.
Do you still have any instruments?
Yeah, I still do.
Pick them up at all?
A little bit. And it was kind of as I was listening to some of these your podcasts, like I mentioned, Jeremiah and Matt.
And shouts out to Kate Taylor from episode 183 for turning me on to.
Where is it there?
She's
there?
The last one above the picture. Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
Yeah, that's awesome. She's so nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and she just had this great idea to buy old matchbooks and start framing them.
Yeah.
It just freaking took off.
Yeah.
You know?
She brought me that larger coaster on the table there, right? In the red and green one on your here in front of you.
There's a lot of stuff over here.
No, I know.
Oh, here.
She brought me that.
Uh-huh.
And then like a little bag of goodies.
Oh,
and
that's
some matchbooks.
Uh-huh. Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
So smart.
Uh-huh.
So easy.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
But I interrupted. You said you were listening to Matthew and Jeremiah's.
Oh yeah, and I was like, maybe I go on and talk about this. Maybe I'll start playing again. So I'll pick it up sometimes, and it's funny. I like go back to playing the exact same fucking chords and everything that I always did. I'm just like stuck. I guess I don't know.
Plateau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not a very high plateau either.
They all have their own value.
Yeah, right. But so also pretty long time ago, I wrote for a magazine called Dandercroft that was here in Kansas City. It was a music magazine. John Berzook started it. And I did an interview with Mark Stevenson. He had a band, Snakebite Orphans, at the time. And Mark's a really, really cool guy. And he said something, I was like, something about, what's your definition of success or something about success. And he said, he's like, well, success is, has many different levels or something like that, or spectrum, success. And he's like, so is, making it big, living in a mansion, whatever, riding around in limos. Is that success? Or is like, 30, 40 years from now, some kid knocks at your door and he's got a copy of your cassette and he wants you to sign it. Is that success? I thought that was just so
good questions.
So profound, Yeah. He's like just one of those really smart, spiritual kind of guys,
Dandercroft?
Yeah, Dandercroft.
How long was this thing around?
Couple years-ish.
Okay. And your writing chops come from where?
From like my major was public relations.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it was, there's so much journalism in that.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I just kind of picked it up from that.
Sure.
I was a reporter for the Smithville Herald for a hot second.
Okay.
I think maybe I'm scooting away from the mic. I guess
you're good.
You'll fix that in post.
Yeah, right.
And for about a year, it was a weekly newspaper, and it was fun. It was good. I thought that's what I wanted to do too. But then I'm writing there, working my ass off, covering like the fire board. There's a bunch of drama going on there that I don't even care about. I don't even fucking live there, And, people getting mad at me for taking one side. And I'm like, I'm not taking any side. I'm just telling you what happened.
Reporting.
Right. That's how it used to be.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way they taught you. But apparently, somebody read into it, but and then the guy selling I'm making like $11.50 an hour or something, and the guy sitting next to me selling ads is like driving a Cadillac, and I was like, man, I can't keep doing this, and then.
Did you have for these pieces that you would write for the Herald? Did you have a source minimum that was dictated to you? 2. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. That was what I was taught. I did high school newspaper and college newspaper, and then and that was the standard across. And then all of a sudden one day it was like, oh no, it's 3 now. Mm-hmm. Like globally agreed upon and understood that 2 is kind of lazy and it should be 3. And it's like, well, I get that and I respect that, but not every story in every publication is going to be worthy of taking up column inch space so that you can get a third in there.
I mean, I can see, I wrote like feature stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This new business opened. Who's my third person going to be? I guess I could. You could find somebody, I guess. Yeah. But so learned to write.
ATAKC, the website's real clean and handsome, and it's got nice copy in there. Is that all you?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you put the thing together too?
No, I didn't design it. Tony Johnson is the guy's name.
Okay.
Who did the website, and he's kind of stopped doing, and it's a template or whatever. Like I saw him recently, and I saw his website, and I was like, dude, your website looks just like my website, but with different pictures, and you know what I mean. So it's not.
Yeah.
But it's still like in the beginning, I used to do my own websites through GoDaddy, and you know what I mean.
Right.
Just kind of piece it together. It's not.
So if you make, he put it together for you. But if you need to update it, you can get in there and plug some stuff. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, except, like a couple times a year I'll have to call him and go, Tony, I don't know what I did, man. And he'll go in and fit, like I put in, get rid of something, thinking I'm, I don't know, trying to make it better or whatever, and click the wrong thing. And like, oh, I'm in too deep.
Yeah.
But, if you have a little WYSIWYG or whatever, to work with, I can change like the content and stuff, which is what, that's what gets you SEO anyway, they doesn't read pictures,
Right.
So
a WYSIWYG, huh?
Oh yeah. Stands for what you see is what you get.
Oh.
WY. Maybe you've seen it before.
Yeah.
At least that's what they used to call it then. Like, okay, you go into your WYSIWYG and make your edits there, like it, to where you didn't have to use code. You could push a button that had the code.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I might be remembering it a little wrong.
No, it's cool. Nice.
Yeah, and of course now AI, freaking nuts, man.
Do you mess around with that?
Yeah, I started recently.
Okay, I have not even.
Oh, it's crazy. Like, so I send out a weekly email. So that's like after we do the video, then I go home because I don't have any. I occasionally will have somebody who will do that part for me, which is great because I had done it so many times and I hated it, but now I kind of don't really mind anymore, especially since my kids are older and, they don't want to hang out with you anyway.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But I'll go in and, update the website and God damn, where was I going with that?
You were
play it back.
The auction, you'll go home and update.
Yeah, every Tuesday. At least we're both in the same
boat
there. But yeah, so okay, AI.
Yeah. All of 90 seconds ago.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
So I have to write out an email. Hey everybody, here's preview pictures and video for this week. We've got some really great stuff, and I go in and list it all. But now, like the past few times, I've started doing it seriously. Like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I just would go into ChatGPT and at first I started using it to write my YouTube descriptions for the videos because it's such a pain in the ass, and I feel like nobody's really reading it, and and I'm sitting there like, oh, I need to change that comma, and oh, that's passive voice, and I'm going through all this like, why am I messing with this when I can go, hey, create 5 paragraphs about this week's auction. Some highlights include, signed sports memorabilia, Civil War revolver, motorcycle, 1988, whatever motorcycle, and list stuff. And, so you'd still have to do some writing and then click it, and it's like, hey, great, here you go. Spells it all out.
You say this? You speak it into...
No, I type it.
Okay.
I type it into... I suppose you could speak it
into the chat GPT.
Yeah. I do it on my laptop.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But I guess you could speak it.
Interesting.
I still like to type,
Yeah.
But it works really well, like frighteningly. Well, I don't even know if frighteningly, so eerily. Well, it works really, really well.
Sure.
I don't think it's going to take over the world anytime soon, but I mean, it's pretty freaking handy, man.
Yeah,
like,
I bet.
I mean, and so then I started, having it do the email too, and it's so friendly. It doesn't like whine or complain or anything. It's like, I'd be happy to do that. Oh my gosh.
Sweet.
How much, whatever I'm paying you, it's not enough.
Yeah, exactly.
It's, just play around with it. It's pretty, you could just say like, well, something like that about any subject.
Yeah.
I think a while back I even said, okay, this is my background. This is my skill set. This is what I do now. How can I use what I have now to make an extra like $3,000 a month or something like that? I was just playing around, and it like spit out all these things like you could host online classes about auctioneering. You could, all the stuff that you could like, yeah, that's kind of obvious, but I wasn't thinking about it, nor am I going to freaking do that.
Right. Right.
But it was just funny how it was like just spot on.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because it reminded me that I wanted to ask you, you mentioned the chant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that what I think it is? The speedy.
Yeah.
And you learned that as part of program that you enrolled in?
The prestigious Missouri Auction School.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're
Mm-hmm.
doing it every time?
Every time.
And I remember reading the phrase, every raise of a paddle on your website. So that's like, I mean, legit, every item is getting bid on by folks that are present, or they can attend digitally if they do something ahead of time.
So we don't do some are like simulcast where they'll have an online auction going, people bidding online as well. And I've done that in the past years and years ago. I'm sure that the tech has come a lot further, but there was always like some sort of lag,
Sure.
And, the person in the room, okay, they're at 200 and we have, 220. Oh, I think there's a bid coming in, 200 and 220. And the person sitting there is like, come on, man. Is this mine or not?
Right,
that's not how it goes. So,
yeah.
But
more or less, folks are live in person in your space doing this.
Yeah. Or we have like what we call absentee bids. Like somebody
That's
can
what I
call
was
in.
thinking
Yeah.
of.
They can call in and a lot of them are regular customers. Some people, past few years, all over the country, they're calling in and, they'll like I'll go up to 200 on that. I'll go up to 100 on that, and we start them out. Like I don't like honk them right at 200, I'll go, all right, I have $100 bid, and we go from there. And then we'll ship it to them,
Okay.
And then, once people realize that you're, honest and, not trying to steal their money, then they,
Yeah. Come to you often.
Yeah, all the time.
So how do you know when you have enough stuff for next week's auction? Is there a number, or do you just go? I have a feeling this is we're gonna call it good there. Do you get stuff and it won't go into next week's? It might go into some future.
Yeah, we have enough stuff there right now to do probably another 2 auctions.
Okay.
It just kind of when all the tables are filled up and we have enough, like, because as much as I want to have things that are selling for thousands of dollars every time, it's just that's not really my niche. You know what I mean? Like, we do we liquidate too. You know what I mean? We also serve like collectors and resellers and stuff like that, but we also help people get rid of their stuff. Hopefully not their trash.
Right.
But so it's kind of when you have enough stuff in there and enough items of interest. There's maybe been one time that we canceled because I just didn't feel like it was going to be a very good auction, so
Sure.
I didn't do it. But
What about butts coming in the door? I mean, do you have a consistent number of folks? Are some weeks drastically higher or lower than others?
yeah, some weeks are higher. I'd say it's generally at least 100 people
Really?
come in, not necessarily sitting there all night, but people come in and stay for a while because doors open at 5, auction starts at 6, and it goes till about 10:30. Yeah, so that's a long time standing up there talking and
So-
to people. So
10:30, you wrap. How long before you're home?
another hour or so.
What are you tidying up? Do you have business to attend?
Yeah, just like kind of looking at the numbers, getting the deposit ready, and maybe helping some people move stuff out, and just kind of talking to other people that work there about how it went. And do you see that? We'll get a load of that one guy who's here. Can you believe they paid so much for that? Or that kind of thing. Oh, I'm so glad you brought us back to talking about the auction. I was going down a damn rabbit hole there.
Very good.
Wormhole, more like it.
No worries.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
So, again, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you sharing a list with me too.
Yeah.
I kind of just roll through them in release order, if that works.
Yeah, sure. And, I maybe didn't understand the assignment. Like it said, like influences,
Influences,
But that's just
favorites,
kinda- yeah.
go-tos. It doesn't matter.
I kind of did it from like stuff I used to like to, all the way up to kind of what I'm listening to
That's
now. So yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
So
right on.
we're gonna roll through yours chronologically in release order, sort of. One small exception, which will make sense, I hope, later.
Right.
But so if we do that, we start in 1977 with Richard Hell and the Voidoids' Blank Generation,
Oh yeah.
which is first of two for them, 10 tracks, 39 minutes, plus they had 2 EPs. This is New York City punk rock. Not the outfit and the album are both firsts for the podcast. I've never even heard of these guys. So what is your intro story, and why does this get the label of undeniable when you were putting your list together?
So the undeniable one is, I think, the one you're getting to later.
Okay. Okay.
So that one would have been first as far as my, what I tuned into.
Yeah.
But it was before. So yeah, just that time in New York City, like if you had to pick a time and a place to be alive, when like mid 70s to 80, maybe early 80s, just with all the stuff that's going on and how like, there's Dick Hill and the Voidoids, there's television, there's, Talking Heads, there's Lou Reed, Velvet Underground, and all that stuff is just like, just brewing, just happening, and, of course, CBGB played a huge role in
Yep.
all that. But then what's funny too is that in like London, kind of the same same freaking thing is going on, with like Sex Pistols and Joy Division, and I mean a little time gap there,
Yep.
but I mean still there's just it's like the same consciousness or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's in New York is just gritty and maybe even affordable or
Right. Right.
Um,
So how does this one cross? How do you cross paths with this record?
I think I first found out about it was my friend Jonas Jenkins turned me on to a lot of a lot of music and a lot of that time in New York. So I was probably early 20s.
Okay.
When I found out about
You got
it.
some friends with cool names: Berkeley Whitler and Jonas Jenkins.
Yeah.
They got pop to them.
Yeah, two good guys. Yeah, and he just kind of, and this is all, this album, I love this album. It's more like a representation of that, like I said, that time,
Yeah.
and everything. It's just a freaking blast. What a time to just make music. And I mean, and they had no idea that they were like changing the way music is going to be made forever. They're creating this whole new, sound.
Yeah.
And there's other bands that he turned me on to from that time period. It's just really, I don't know, just speaks to me, and I love his like vocal patterns, and I love that it's not like very polished and everything. But you
Sure.
listen to the guitar playing. I don't mess his name up. Is it Richard Lloyd? Or is it anyway? What it doesn't matter. There's still some great talent there and everything too, but it's still just like raw and also poetry and just the whole look. Supposedly, this Malcolm McLaren, who created the Sex Pistols, he supposedly stole their style from Richard Hell and the Voidoids. With
Really?
Like the ripped shirts and maybe a safety pin holding it,
Funny.
closed, and it's just great. I just love the songs and the energy.
Very cool. A small leap forward to 1984 with Minutemen's Double Nickels on the Dime.
Yes.
This is 3 of 4 for them, 45 minutes, 45 tracks, 81 minutes. So sticking punk, but switching coasts. This
Right.
is San Pedro, California. This one has made at least 2 lists that I can recall, and there seems to be a ton of love and respect for this short-lived trio. Why were they so impactful, and why do they earn the 2 slot with Double Nickels?
Well, and I think when I sent you that email, I might have been a little out of whack because this Minutemen would be my number one.
Okay.
I think I wrote that and then wrote it underneath and put Richard Hell underneath that. But, I mean, just when I was a kid, I got a copy of this album and just wore it the fuck out. Like, over and over and over. I just love, how it was, I love Mike Watt's bass playing and, D. Boone, awesome guitarist. And George Hurley, the drummer. I don't think he gets enough respect as a founding father.
Sure.
And that it's like it's political. It's they're not worried about not even trying to make money. They're I just absolutely love this freaking album.
So you played the heck out of it when you got a copy of it. What steered you in the direction of getting that?
Just hearing it at a friend's house. We
Okay.
were all just skateboard kids in a
Nice.
small mid-Missouri town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were, it was was terrible living there, you know,
Sure.
and but you know that was the same time as, you know, it's all SST, like Black Flag at the same time, and you know, Husker Du coming into, which
Yeah.
could have been on the list
Yeah.
easily. There's a great Minutemen documentary that's
Oh, really?
on I think it's on YouTube.
Okay.
It's so good. So, and then like D Boone, he tragically died,
Yep.
which was, you know, that was so hard to like wrap your mind around, you know, when you're however old I was, 17, you know, like, but then they went on to become Fire Hose.
Yep.
I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which is, you know, another great band. Mike Watt, you can, like, Mike Watt plays here. Like, he played at Minibar not too long ago.
Absolutely.
And it's just so crazy. Like, you see this freaking punk rock legend finish their show. You know, he gets down, unplugs his pedals, wraps his cords up, puts them in his bag, you know, like, you know, like you think Henry Rollins is doing that, you know what I mean? He's out of there, you know.
Yeah.
Somebody else is doing
Yeah.
freaking Mike Watt right
Yeah.
there on Broadway, the Broadway Triangle right there.
Yeah.
You know, he's you know, stand there and talk to you. He's a talker.
Interesting.
I just love how the songs, just how they roll together, and
Oh, yeah.
how the
Great cadence in the track listing.
oh yeah, it's great, and just like I mean, it almost gives me goosebumps just the car starting up, boom 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 boom.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's great. Now, the funny thing is because Minutemen has kind of taken on a different connotation now, like politically, with like wasn't like the Tea Party people, weren't they calling themselves the Minutemen or
Maybe.
something like that
Yeah.
before?
Yeah.
You know, and I have a Minutemen T-shirt that I got at. I wish I had an original Minutemen T-shirt. Jesus. But I got it at, you know, Mike Watt's last show. He had, you know, some recently made, and you know, it's the three of them back in the day, you know, flag flying and everything. And I've worn it a few times, and it's almost hard to wear because people, like, they don't know who the Minutemen were, and they don't know that and they think it's some sort of like right-ish political statement. Like, dude, could not be more wrong, you know. But yeah, I just love that freaking record. And I mean, and that's talking about fun times to, you know, if you could be alive at a time and a place, you know.
Yeah.
That time in Southern California.
Have you ever seen the movie Mystery Alaska?
I haven't, but it sounds real familiar.
Russell Crowe is in it, and then Hank Azaria. It's a tiny little town called Mystery in Alaska,
Right.
and the whole town, the lifeblood of the town is the Saturday game. They play hockey, and everybody comes to watch. And if you hone your skills, grow your game, and get to play in the Saturday game, it's like there's nothing greater. One of the kids, very small town, sleeps with I don't know, it's the sheriff or the mayor's wife. Yeah, and he goes to see her. I forget exactly how, but the husband ends up opening the door, and he's like, the kid's like, oh fuck, and he's like, I mean, what? And he goes, I'm so sorry. It's just that playing hockey and fornicating are the only things that are fun to do in cold weather. It's like listening to Minutemen tapes and skateboarding is all we had
right.
in Central Missouri, whatever.
Yeah, it was. Talk about a time and a place to not be.
Yeah, exactly.
It was freaking nightmare, man. You know, just like, you know how they throw the word bullying around now. I think maybe people don't know the definition of bullying, or they don't really know what bullying is.
Well, it
you know?
used to just mean you're getting your ass kicked.
Oh yeah, you're fucking scared to go to school, man.
Yeah,
You know,
and
like,
now it's much broader.
yeah. Like, that's not what bullying means, sir. But
I
I
mean,
get it. Everybody needs to feel safe. I understand.
Yep,
So,
yep.
you know.
I
Yeah.
I remember getting cornered. Came back to KC in like '85, and I was for years. I was always the new kid. So I'm back in KC, and I'm in one school, and then I'm in another school. I'm trying to make friends and shake that new kid label, and had been playing baseball for a bunch of years and had a baseball card collection, and a couple guys wanted to like see what I had and make some trades. So we got together and made some trades and went our separate ways. And then a couple days later, two of those dudes, I'm cruising around on my bike, and all of a sudden they're behind me, and all of a sudden they're chasing me, and all of a sudden they get me like cornered in a spot where I've got to get off my bike, and they're like, "We're here to kick your ass because you don't know shit about baseball cards and the trades that you make." Like, I gave away some really valuable cards for like something like another Royals card,
Yeah, right.
and because I didn't know they were gonna kick my ass, and I was like, "What the fuck? And it was terrifying."
Yeah.
I escaped somehow, some way,
Uh-huh.
but I was just like, God, and that was, it wasn't astonishing that I wound up cornered. It was like, oh, this is a thing that I've been feeling since I was in kindergarten. Like, somebody didn't like the way you look or the way you talk, they're gonna give you a mouthful of knuckles a few times.
For real, it's, and then you eventually just have to start fighting too, and then they'd leave you alone,
Yeah. Yep.
But
Exactly.
yeah, I think bullying is like when you're walking down the hall at school and you see these two guys and you go, "Oh God," and you go the other way, and then you see them go, "There he is,"
Yeah.
and they come fucking running after you, and you're hauling ass.
Yeah.
That's sheer terror.
Yes, it is. So from '84, we take a big leap to 2003. Permission to Land, The Darkness. This is one of 8, including one from this year. 10 tracks, 38 minutes. Hard rock, glam metal out of Lowestoft, Suffolk, England. Another podcast first, and this one's part of a mix, as you mentioned. What about this record spoke to you when compiling your list?
I think at this point I was just kind of think what something fun was, and
Yeah.
I love The Darkness. Justin Hawkins, are you familiar with Justin
I
Hawkins?
was not, but I enjoyed this.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
He has a YouTube channel that is fucking hysterical.
Really?
Oh my God. And he he'll do kind of some reaction videos, where he's listening to other music, and he's really good too. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's kind of it's not just some chump bagging on somebody.
Yeah.
But this was like I was working at Mannion's auction and having a really bad time, and just not liking my job and not making any money, and just cranking out descriptions for this catalog that came out like every month or something like that.
Yeah, PR stuff.
This was when I worked there before as
gotcha.
a catalog writer.
Okay.
And so it was kind of my escape. I would listen to XFM in London on, just on my headphones, just plug them into the desktop.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if you're familiar with XFM. It's like a
little bit, yeah.
I mean, I really wasn't too much until then, and then I just listened to it every day, all day. And it's fun because like about the time we were getting off work is like about the time people in London are like going out. You know what I mean? So it would start getting like progressively more fun. But anyway, that's when this had just come out.
Okay.
And I just listened to it all the time. That falsetto voice, like. What is this? Plus they freaking shred,
Yeah.
and then like got into listening to Justin Hawkins' podcast
Okay.
and his YouTube channel and all that.
Yeah.
It's just really clever and well put together. And then I mentioned that I bartended at the Truman.
Yeah.
few times a month, sometimes more, sometimes not at all. But I've gotten to see the Darkness twice there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
They draw a crowd?
the first time they did. The second time they played in St. Louis the next time. Like their last time, I don't think he really enjoyed it. But
Yeah, that's too bad.
yeah, there wasn't that. It was ridiculous, but they just put on such a fire show
Nice.
too. Like, he's like gets out in the crowd playing guitar, passing him around, and he's telling jokes and just has this really dry sense of humor, and
Sure.
and then this was kind of about the time I started playing in Dark Circles too, so
Okay.
I was with those guys. I was like, check this out, and I ordered the CD, like, they didn't have it here, so I had to get it from London, because it had just come out, and yeah, I just kind of liked it, and it was kind of all part of my second whatever wave of being in a band.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
yeah.
3 years later, 2006, My Chemical Romance's The Black Parade.
Yeah.
3 of 4, 14 tracks, 51 minutes, back stateside with rock out of New Jersey. This one's made a couple of lists.
Sure.
And there's discussion about this era and this genre wherein My Chemical Romance always gets mentioned and oftentimes first. But this record seems to be the fan favorite. Are you familiar with their other three? And how did this one initially land in your lap?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the others, but from this one first.
Okay.
God, how did this even land in my lap? I think I just heard about it from somebody, like, I think maybe online. Like, remember that game, Second Life? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It was like you create this avatar and you like just one. I mean, it's probably, I don't even know if it's still around, but it's nothing compared to games now, you know.
Right.
But you wouldn't really do anything. You just walk around and make friends and stuff, and you'd like. Anyway, I think it was somebody on there.
That sounds fun.
It was kind of neat, I was into it for like a little brief period,
Sure.
in my downtime.
Yeah.
I think it was somebody on there that mentioned it to me, and I bought it and was like, holy shit, this album is perfect. And it's like kind of my guilty pleasure almost, because, I like Minutemen. I like freaking Dick Hell, and it's just such a perfect album, the way all the songs flow together, and a lot of it, it's a lot like Queen kind of, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just, I think it is just like a perfect record.
Cool. Have you had a chance to see them?
I did. Funny you should mention that. I don't even remember what year it was. Decade-ish more ago at Memorial Hall.
Okay. Great venue.
Yeah, I just, nobody I knew listened to My Chemical Romance or anything like that, so I just bought a ticket, and I was like, I'm going to see My Chemical Romance. Went by myself.
Sure.
Had a couple little airplane bottles and some beers in the car,
Yep.
just went in there. And, I had seats in the upper level, and then, I went down to the lower level, and, they said, do we need to see your ticket? And I just had a $20 bill, and I just gave it to the guy, and he goes, all right, put a wristband on me, and there I was,
Nice.
So, yeah, it was crazy. And they're like throwing out their like water bottles and stuff afterwards. I was like, oh, can I have one? Like so stupid, but
Sure.
but yeah, it was a really, really, really good album.
Nice.
So,
Yeah. So 2019, Cheap Queen from King Princess. First of three, 38 minutes, 13 tracks. Michaela Mulaney Strauss.
Right.
Pop singer out of Brooklyn. Another podcast first. Who is King Princess, and how'd this record come to mind when making your list?
So this is just like I listen to King Princess like right now. That's like if I'm picking something to listen to, it's probably going to be King Princess. This came actually just from working at the Truman. I was bartending there one night. Didn't have any idea who she was, and it just blew my freaking socks off. So freaking good. And it's mainly like for the gay girls, you know,
Yep.
like that's the crowd.
Yeah.
And those, you know, her people, like if you follow her on social and stuff, freaking hilarious.
Well, she's one of her line that popped off the page to me was in talking about how she presents and where she is on the sexuality spectrum. She said, "I like my titties about 49% of the time."
She does not hold back,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I was just blown away, you know. I'm like, what the hell is this? She's a freaking great guitar player. I love the use of effects. I like the fun little stops and starts in the songs. The lyrics are great. This was her first. I think her third one just came out.
Okay.
And so she was playing at the Truman again, and I didn't work that night because I bought my daughter now. Like she's going through my records, kind of like I mentioned earlier when you go through your parents' records.
Yeah.
And she saw my two King Princess records, and she was like, took them.
Nice.
You know,
Nice.
which is you're like, oh wait, actually,
Yeah.
I'm really cool with
Exactly.
that, you know?
Exactly. So of the records that you shared with me, a couple I knew, and the rest were first time listens. This was of the first time listen, and it was my favorite of your whole list by far. I was like, holy shit.
So fucking good, man.
Yeah.
People don't. I don't think people really know, but so, she just played at the Truman like, I think it was like last month, and I got my daughter and I VIP tickets, and like you know not. If you work at the Truman, it doesn't mean you're not getting anything for free. You know what I mean? And VIP is through the tour generally, not through the venue anyway.
Oh, okay.
And you know, it wasn't cheap, wasn't crazy expensive,
Right.
you know, but we got to go to like a meet and greet and all that, you know, got pictures taken and all that. So, you know, you get in before everybody, so you can go up front. So I'm up front, and I'm not like a standing up front at a concert person, you know, but it's like, well, we're here, you know, and she's pretty freaking awesome. But
Nice.
then, you know, she gets up there and, you know, singing like, there's a song called Pussy is God, you know, and there's only so much time you can spend standing next to your 16-year-old daughter with somebody singing stuff like that, you know,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, you know, I ain't going back there, you know, and
Yeah.
I think she was like, oh, thank fucking God.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because she was feeling the
If
same
you weren't
way.
going to leave, I was going to.
Yeah. But then also, are you familiar with the show Nine Perfect Strangers? It's on, I don't know, one of them.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
So she's in the second series of Nine Perfect Strangers.
Okay.
It's basically, and Kim Basinger is the lead
Really?
character in it, and basically she's this like kind of like mushroom psychedelic guru, you know, and rich people go to see her on this island, and then you know everything goes bad. You know, like what could go wrong?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's in the second season, so
Okay.
I was really
Cool.
yeah. Just the show is so good, and the way that she is like her audience and interacts, you know, and it's just I think that a lot of performers could probably take a clue, you know, about how you interact with your audience,
Yeah.
you know.
Right on. So The one deviation was a later add-on, and it's Paw's Dragline from 1992.
Oh, you got that one in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that was like a 1 a.m. email
Yeah,
or
you know.
something too. I was at my buddy John Holston's place. John, he had a record label here for a while called Anodyne Records.
Okay.
And his like grandpa had a place in Springfield, and it's like 300 acres. It's freaking. Anyway, we were down there, and
Nice.
we were up a little late, and we were listening to Paw. And
No,
I was
I
like,
mean-
I just sent him this one here.
I was glad you did. First of 3 17 tracks, 50 minutes. Rock out of LFK. That's Lawrence, fucking Kansas, if you're listening non-regionally. Late edition that trumps them all. I believe you said something
Is that what I said?
to that degree, or
I
beats
was-
them all, or something like that.
I was in the moment for
Yeah,
sure when
absolutely.
we were listening to it. But so that was kind of another fun time in local music, like when Paul got signed and started to make it big. And it was, so there's another one that it should have probably been in here too. Uncle Tupelo, No Depression.
Okay.
And Paul isn't really like that, but I mean, kind of like it's kind of, I don't want to say country, it's more like Midwestern. I guess you listen to it. So,
Yeah.
slide guitar and at the time that was just like the sound. It seemed like that I wanted to sound like Mark Hennessy, when I was in a band. That's how I wanted to sound.
Yeah.
And it was just a wild time. I still love it, and John and I, both loved it back at the time.
Sure.
So we were up a little late, and just rocking out.
Absolutely.
It's such a good record.
Late 80s, early 90s, Lawrence music scene was real special to me, and really kind of opened my eyes to that world, the world of live music and labels and making records. And when I saw it, I was like, oh shit, okay, I know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I love that picture too.
Yeah,
it's
a good one.
And it's just such a time, and you know how certain records just encapsulate the time of your life. 'Cause
Absolutely.
you just listen to it over and over and over and over. And
Yeah.
then, they came out with their second. I think they only had two, or maybe they ended up three.
Yeah.
So I know that they'd broken up, whatever, never getting back together. And then I heard some sort of interview where, so like one of their songs was on a video, like a snowboarding video game or something like
Sure.
that. And so somebody was interviewing Paul McCartney, and I'm getting this all secondhand. So somebody was interviewing Paul McCartney, and they said, what are you listening to now, or what do you think, blah, 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 new music? And he's like, this band called Paw, my son, I hear it a lot on his game that he plays, and then I don't know if I'm putting this together, but boom, all of a sudden Paul's like playing again or something like
Funny.
that.
Funny.
And Steve Tulipana went on tour with them
Okay.
as the lead singer when Mark Hennessy had left the band.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
That guy's something else. Is there anything he can't do?
Right. Episode 92, Dan Jones.
Uh-huh.
Dan Jones and the Squids.
Yeah, that's one I recognize.
They're in the Squids together.
Right. Yeah.
Dan's list is right up your. If you give his list a peek, I think you would
I will for sure.
jive with it.
Yeah, I will for sure.
Thank you for sharing that list. It was
Yeah.
good fun and some good listens. In the episodes of this podcast that you have poked around, have you stayed through till the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I wrap with a series of goofy questions.
Right. I can't remember them all. I was kind of like trying to scan back and find out what they were.
So
But anyway, but I'm yeah.
Okay, that's helpful. I'm historically most folks don't listen that late, and I totally get it. It's who has the time or the attention span for a 3 hour or whatever these days. So usually folks are caught off guard, which I think makes for better question asking. But I'm getting to the point now where folks are listening a little longer, and then they come and they know the questions. And so I've got an alternate set.
I knew you were going to do that when you were interviewing Matt Naquin. Is that how you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You said I'm thinking about doing another one.
Well,
Because people are getting prepared.
yeah. So,
but I'm not necessarily prepared. But I did.
well, I'll stick with the initial set for you then.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Okay, so cup of coffee with anybody of your choosing, dead or alive, who and why?
I'd rather it be like a couple of cocktails, but
That's what it is. Then.
right.
A couple cocktails.
John Candy, I think it'd have to be John Candy.
I like me.
Yeah,
My wife likes me. Have you seen that documentary?
Oh, I got something in both eyes.
Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah.
Yeah, and I would have picked that anyway, but I did recently, within the past few weeks, watch that. Oh my god.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yep. Great guy.
If we can pretend or imagine that we all have a personal and a professional bucket list, you're given all the necessary resources to go knock out your number one on each list. What are those number ones?
I guess it'd be to not have to work anymore and have plenty of money and travel, go wherever I want. Go wherever I want, when I want. And, I don't, other than like being able to find a cure for racism or disease or, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, obviously those would be way up there, but something.
A notable contribution.
Just go where I wanted, when I wanted,
Worry free.
I
love it. You're given the opportunity to visit your past self at any age of your choosing. What age are you choosing and what are you saying? And we're not trying to change Andrew Turner. This is not a regretful thing. It's just a curiosity.
Right. Probably, like save more money, start saving early.
Okay.
And, don't worry about goofing around and stuff in high school so much,
Yeah, absolutely.
Get freaking good grades and get on so you don't have to end up freaking hustling, you know? I mean.
Yeah. So television show Fear Factor, a long time ago, early reality TV. You win the prize for doing the gross stuff. This is not that. This is real life. You got to get from point A to point B. In the middle, however, is your greatest fear or your greatest source of creeps or heebie-jeebies or whatever the case may be. You got to get A to B. What is the thing in the way?
Mm-hmm. And it's more of like a physical thing or whatever.
Whatever comes to mind.
Whatever I want.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, just that. I guess I wasn't really prepared. That something, I don't want to talk about it, but something bad would happen to a member of my close family, I mean.
Absolutely.
I can't think of anything else more absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Last but not least, please complete this for me. The world would immediately become a better place in which to live if only...
I guess if only, people realized that everyone is their own main character, that everybody, I guess that'd be empathy, that everybody's got problems, everybody's just trying to make it,
Yeah. Excellent.
But, yeah.
Empathy would go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
All great answers. I love them. Thank you. So again, at Andrew_Turner_auctions on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, atakc.com, Andrew Turner Auctions, kc.com. Any other plugs?
Well, usually people want to hear like the auctioneer chant.
I mean,
So let me hear yours first, because that's the best thing about it now. Because everybody always goes, "Oh, so it's so hilarious." Because you're an auctioneer. You do the, and then they go, "Ba ba 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 ba." You
Yeah.
know, they do something like that.
Yeah.
But let me hear. Let me hear you.
so, you know, moving. Well, I've not moved away from K through 8 because I still got one there, but now there's just another, and it's just every time you turn around, it's the next thing. So that's all fundraising. But the big one every year is the auction, and they have
yeah, I know.
the cook. They're from Clinton.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the Nigros.
No, it's. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with.
well, anyway,
but yeah.
So there's a silent auction beforehand, and then there's the live, and he'll say, okay, up next is Andrew Turner's South Florida vacation home, sleeps 10.
Yeah,
I
remember those auctions.
You get it for a weekend, and it's valued at $8,500. We'll start the bidding at 2,000, and then somebody raises a penny. Hey, I have 2,000 now. Do I have 2,500? And then there's dudes on the floor that are like signaling to him, and that cadence continues. And I have 6,500 once. Do I have 60? Do I have 7? Going once. Go sold. And so that's
you can pull it off. It's not freaking hard,
right.
But usually people go, like I said, they'll you do the, and then they always throw in their little thing, they go, you do the dollar, or you do the, they just string together some auctioneers. But anyway, so and people always they say about our auction is that they can understand me, and I a lot of auctioneers, like I can't understand what they're saying, like you watch like you probably don't, but like, there'll be something in my feed about the world champion auctioneering. I'm like, I don't understand. I mean, I do because I can, I'm, that part of my brain is firing or whatever. So I can, but it's just, you're just counting. So like you'd start off, you'd be like, all right, Paul Dragline, start me up. Who's going to give me 20 where 20. Nobody ever raises their hand at first because everybody thinks they're going to get it for so cheap. And I go, what about 10? 10? Nobody, and so I go 5, and then like 20 people raise their hand. I'm like, come on, guys. But so to go, all right, I got 5. I have 5. I need 7.5. I have 7.5. 7.5 bid on 10. 10. I need 12.5. 10. I need 12.5. I have 12.5. 12.5. I need 15. 15. I have 15. 15. I need 15. I need 17.5. 15. 7.5. How about 20? 20. I have 17.5. I need 20. So they're just like telling you what they have, and then they're saying, can I get more?
Yeah.
And it all, it was just from that Missouri auction school. There were like all these people in a room. You'd start your day doing this tongue twister called Betty Botter. And it's Betty Botter bought some butter, but Betty Botter bought some butter, but something about butter's bitter. So she bought a bitter batter, put it in her bitter batter. So there'd be like, however many, 150, 200 people there, all in this room doing this tongue twister over and over.
Funny.
Yeah.
Very cool. Any thing that you had hoped that we would cover that we didn't?
Oh, I'm sure I left some little ideas up in the, in the middle of the conversation. I moved on to something else, But, come down, check out an auction. Don't be, TV and movies, all that make it seem so intimidating, and people don't want to go. It's freaking easy. If it was hard, there wouldn't be anyone doing it.
Right.
I know that much.
Right.
And if you want, retail's for suckers, really. If you want something and you can be patient, you know what I mean, then it's going to come down there eventually, and you can get it for a fraction of the cost.
Yeah.
And if you collect things, you just, really come check it out. It's also something new to do, on
Absolutely.
Thursday. A lot of people, just come down, something to do,
1801 Gwinnett. Doors open at 5. Auction starts at 6. It's free to attend, correct?
Yep.
And you get there and you feel like you've seen enough, or if it's not your bag, it's no problem in bouncing.
Yeah. It's just big old warehouse, with a bunch of mismatched chairs,
Yeah.
sitting there. And then every Wednesday we do a preview from 11 to 1. It's not an ideal time, but, we're under the gun every week. There's not going to be an ideal time, and I'm not hanging out down there all day. But people can come in and they can look around and look at stuff, and yeah, it's not exactly what I saw myself doing when I was 18 or 19, but who knows?
Here we are.
I thought we were all gonna die in a nuclear war. So.
Really. Well, again, I appreciate all of the correspondence, sticking with time and date changes. As we both know, life happens, so the flexibility is appreciated, and it was really nice to meet you. And
yeah, you too.
Thank you. I hope to talk to you soon.
Yeah, you're a really great interviewer, and you really can pull stuff out of people. It's not something everybody can do.
Right.
So.
Well, thanks.
All right,
Appreciate
man.
you.
We'll see you. All right, that was fun. Thank you.